If you like peaceful football games, then the Philadelphia Eagles are not for you. They win their fourth straight en route to a 6-2 record, but the heart attack of a game that they just gave us, talk about sweating bullets, man. The timely decisions from Nick Sirianni, the pitiful coaching in this game, but ultimately the heroics of Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, DeVonta Smith, Nakobe Dean, and more get it done. We will break it all down, but should we be ultimately happy after this football game? Well, I think we are going to have another one of those games where this fan's on this side of the spectrum and this fan's on the complete opposite. The Eagles can never make it easy, but nonetheless, they get it done. They beat the Jaguars 28-23. Welcome into A to Z Philly. Like the show, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this coverage. And I want to start it off with the guy who I guess got the game ball here, Nakobe Dean. And Nick Sirianni said that Nakobe has a special work ethic and is in the building at night watching film. He saw the tendencies for the Jaguars from film study and ultimately made the biggest play of the game. I mean, after the pass interference by Avonte Maddox, which, by the way, is almost a fireable offense, in my opinion. You're not even playing to begin with, and you get a big third down pass interference, which puts the Jags right inside the red zone, and they almost scored. If it wasn't for the incompetent Jaguars and the awful play calling, I don't even know why they tried to lob one up to the end zone. Nakobe made a hell of a play on it, but Jaguars were in prime position to steal that football game, and Nakobe saved what could have been a very ugly loss. The defense again makes plays. They had takeaways in this game. They crack down. They get to the quarterback. Only had 2 sacks today. Shout out to Josh Sweat. But they have been making a lot more big plays. So kudos to the defense for, again, holding tight and, just playing a lot better as a unit since the bye week. But really, I felt like this game started to flip after the fumble from Saquon Barkley. I am going to rant about it now because this is the type of game, and this is really the type of play that could flip a game, flip a team's record, flip a team's season, and could change things drastically. There is no way that you review this call from Saquon Barkley and keep it as a fumble. In a total of 15 seconds, the Jaguars put 16 points on the board. They go from scoring the first touchdown with the 2-point conversion. Kudos to them for putting together a good drive. And then Saquon Barkley fumbles on the first play. Trayvon Walker runs it all the way back. But this play was reviewed and flipped the entire momentum of the game. And it's why I'm not too mad at the Eagles for this game, but this could have made them lose. And quite frankly, if they had lost this football game and gave up a touchdown on that final drive, this is the play we would have been looking at. Saquon Barkley's ankle was struck by the defender, and a second and a half later, he goes down, hits the ground, which caused the fumble, by the way, and they're trying to say that he tripped over his own lineman, and then he went down and nobody touched him. That's absolutely ludicrous. That is terrible. And we've seen teams, even the Eagles, get cost in big games before. And there's going to be more plays like this, whether it's the Eagles or other teams, where they get absolutely screwed because they have a review system that doesn't even work. If they would have lost, we would have heard a statement tomorrow saying, oops, my bad, we messed up, but now you lost the game. So thankfully, it didn't come back to bite the Eagles, but it's just absolutely inexcusable. And this game could have completely flipped everything. I mean, after this, the offense started to get rattled. Jalen almost threw a pick. You could just tell guys were not in the right mindset. Defense was starting to crack under the pressure a bit, but thankfully it came down to the heroics of Saquon Barkley and DeVonta Smith. I'm not going to be mad at Saquon Barkley for fumbling the ball, even though it shouldn't have been a fumble, because this guy is absolutely insane. And paired with Saquon, I can't believe that this is a real screenshot from a play, but paired with him, who did it better? DeVonta Smith pulls in a one-handed snag, somehow drags both feet, and these are 2 legendary photos. I mean, these are like out of a video game. They aren't even in a video game. The fact that DeVonta makes that catch, by the way, had another big play leading up to that. A.J. Brown goes out. That's Jalen's most reliable weapon, his best friend. And I feel like DeVonta Smith is the most underrated number 2 receiver in the league. He really is a number 1, but every time they go to this guy, he only had 4 catches in this game, but every time they went to him, it was a timely, big-time play. and he just never fails to live up to the moment. And even when you just look at how Saquon Barkley performed in this football game, I mean, again, 159 yards on the ground. How about 40 yards in the air? Saquon Barkley, ladies and gentlemen, is worth every penny and more. Matter of fact, Saquon Barkley deserves a raise. That's how damn good this guy is. I feel like I say it every single week, but he has changed the dynamic of this offense. He is a game changer. He is why you go and pay him. He's in that upper tier of running backs. He's not just a dime a dozen running back. He is an absolute game changer. And Saquon Barkley is what could potentially get this team over the top. He's that good. He just does it every week. And I feel like it's really his ability to just lock it into that second gear. Even on a normal handoff, you just see that burst, that turbo, and he just turns up the jets and never looks back. He has like these 15 and 20-yard runs. And even, over the past couple of weeks, he'll have like a 50-yard run that just ignites this offense. He is so consistent. He is Mr. Reliable. 27 carries in this game. The Eagles carry it 46 times as a team. Jalen only threw it 24 times. The Eagles have gotten back to their real identity, which is running the football. Even Saquon with 3 catches out of the backfield. He had that over-the-shoulder catch early in the game to put the Eagles on the board. They finally scored in the first quarter. We can shut that down now, but, off of a turnover, by the way, from Sidney Brown, who made a hell of a play. But Saquon Barkley, man, is just Mr. Consistent. He is Mr. Reliable. And he does it every single week. And I am so happy to have this guy in midnight green or in Kelly green today. And that play where he breaks a tackle, spins another one, and then does a backwards hurdle. The guy isn't even real at this point. He might be AI, to be honest. Jalen Hurts was really the player of the game outside of those two. Jalen was fantastic. His throws were on point. Other than that one where he almost threw a pick after the offense was starting to get rattled, he has just been at an MVP level, and it says Jalen Hurts has been playing on an elite level since the bye week. 12 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, and he's averaging 127.25 on the passer rating per game. He has been incredible. Jalen Hurts on 10-yard throws or more during the Eagles' 4-game win streak, 20 of 29, 68%, 500 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Jalen Hurts' deep ball continues to get better too. The touch that he's putting on these throws, I love how he's reading the field. His offensive line was up and down today. I thought Fred Johnson was kind of rough, but overall he's got anchors in front of him. He's trusting them. He's trusting his weapons. And oh boy, what do you know? We have said this time and time again throughout this season. You have all the tools, use them, right? Get Jalen Hurts comfortable in the offense. Get him in a rhythm. Jalen should not have to play hero ball every single week. Some of the greatest quarterbacks did not always play hero ball every game. And when you allow Jalen to get more comfortable and show him that there are other parts of this offense, when you can get more creative, I mean, the balance of this attack is just lethal, man. 18 for 24 with 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 67 and another touchdown. Jalen Hurts is just on a different level right now. And Cooper DeJean on a 4th and 1 made a big-time play, but that also kind of led into where things went off the chart, okay? Nick Sirianni, it has been an issue. He's been better the last couple of weeks, but today, his coaching most likely would have lost the game if it wasn't for a couple bad Jaguars decisions. I don't know why Doug punted on 4th and 3 in the fourth quarter. I feel like that lost them the game, and that's usually not his style. But Nick Sirianni's aggressiveness has to stop. I'm not saying completely bring it to a halt, but enough of the Excel spreadsheets, enough of the pure analytics. Nick Sirianni, as Jeff Kerr says here, passed on 8 points. I counted 9. I counted 2 field goals and 3 extra points that he gave up. There was just too many times in this game where the Eagles could have extended the gap. They could have given themselves a better cushion, and they declined to do so. After the entire Saquon incident, you have a 3rd and 9 where Jalen Hurts converts a big-time 3rd down to kind of cool down the offense a little bit and get them back going in their game. And then a couple plays later, it is 4th and inches at the Jags 25-yard line. Now, at this point, you are up by 6. And anybody with a brain is telling you one of two things. Kick the damn field goal and go back up by 2 scores, or run the brotherly shove, okay? You got stopped 2 times earlier in this game. One of them was a ridiculous delay of game call. Then they didn't call delay of game, whatever it is. and you got stopped twice. So my concern is, are you going to go away from your best plays when they're not working? It's 4th and inches at the 25, and you decide to run Jalen out of the pocket on a bootleg, and nobody's open. He has to revert to hero ball and just ends up throwing it away. Absolutely terrible play call. You tried to get too cute and outsmart them, and even if you're not going to run the shove, run Saquon up the gut. Earlier in the game, back in the second quarter, you have a chance to put 3 on the board. This was after the Cooper DeJean 4th and 1 stop, and you are on the Jag side of the field to begin the drive, and you don't get much yardage, but now you have a chance to put 3 on the board. 4th and 3, you decide to go for it because the analytics told you to do so. Jalen throws to AJ, who was frustrated that he didn't throw it faster. Ball ends up getting batted away, incomplete pass, turnover on downs, and then obviously the extra point / 2-point conversion failures kept adding up. There were just too many points that were left on the board, and sure, it didn't cost you today against the measly Jaguars, but when you play the better teams, when you play the Lions in the NFC Championship game, you're not going to win if you leave 9 points on the board. This was terrible coaching. And speaking of the Lions, you could take a lesson out of their playbook where they left points on the board in the NFC Championship game and shot themselves in the foot and didn't give themselves a chance to go to the Super Bowl last year. You got to really fix this. You got to hone in, lock in, and make sure this does not happen again, because you snuck away with a win against the 2-6, now 2-7 Jaguars, who are on the verge of pretty much blowing it up. It should have been a 40-point game for the Eagles, but there was a lack of focus in the second half, and they need to work on that at practice with pressurized situations. Matter of fact, make Lane Johnson the damn coach. This is what I'm saying, man. This is how Eagle fans should feel after this game. Good to get the win, right? Good to be 6-2. Now you're in the top couple of teams in the NFC, and everybody feels like, okay, the offense is in a rhythm now, game by game, and you have the talent to win, but you can't keep making these brutal mistakes. So give me your thoughts down below. How do you feel after this Eagles win? Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch you on the next one.
Discover BetMGM Casino and leap into a world filled with all your favorite casino games. Plus exclusive ones you can't find anywhere else. And progressive jackpots that keep growing. All of it right at your fingertips. BetMGM Casino. Start your adventure today